Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play the Occult Chronicles. In the last episode, Sarah Anawa died, getting devoured by a green slime, blocking the back passage of the mansion's first floor. Couldn't even score 1 point on attempting to flee, and then we couldn't get enough points to escape the slime, and unfortunately picked an instant death. The end of us. Now we have Serenata Inowa, who is beginning her adventure, and this will probably be my last attempt to beat the game this year. I would like to test to make sure that the edges are working properly, but I also don't want to play this game like another 100 times to get to that point. In any case, we started up another character. She started with a machete as well. The whirlwind and critical hit heroic feats, the lightning reflexes and blind fighting edges, and that is about it so far. We've grabbed only 2 quests as well. We had to flee several of these other encounters, which are for later. And we find ourselves staring at 2 more quests now in these rooms. This one could be the talking busts, which show up sometimes in the garden, but it could also very well be some horrific monstrosity. The Trifolids could be here to try to fight us. And we have something in this room, whatever room this is. This looks like a lounge or a sitting room of some sort. Alright, well, I guess we'll just get started. So let's go ahead first and go up. Your attention is drawn to a burnt corpse sitting in a charred but yet still comfortable leather chair. The smell of burnt human flesh is overwhelming at first. You've encountered it before, and no matter how often you have experienced it, it always initiates a slight gag reflex. You take a closer look at the body to see if you can figure out what happened. That's when the hands unclench from the armrests and beckon you closer. Your eyes widen in disbelief as the burnt corpse motions you closer. "Come here, will you?" it whispers in a long, drawn-out moan. You see things far worse than this. In fact, a few years back, you were assigned to a detail that had to clean up after an Agent Sherman mess. One crispy body doesn't even come close. The creature does not seem to be able to leave its chair, being partially melted into the back of it. You think you hear something. The burnt corpse talks in the slightest audible whisper. The mouth barely moves. Don't smoke. So this is part of a quest. We don't have the quest that would lead us to it, so we decided to muster all our courage and willpower to try to get away from this burnt creature. There's something very wrong with it, and it scares us. You take a couple of steps back, and as the smell begins to fade, you already feel a lot better. Soon you are away from it and feeling fine. I mean, it's tempting to go in here, but then we have to try to get a good flee from the smoldering corpse. I think because the target's just a level 1, I think we will explore this room and see what this point of interest is. This could be a gigantic mistake, because now we have to flee. We have to pass an evade check to get past the corpse to get out of this room, but maybe it'll be worth it. You approach what appears to be a metal coffin. Suddenly, you stop dead in your tracks. A wave of horror sweeps over you. The coffin is actually an elaborate Iron Maiden, and it radiates a pure evil that undermines the foundations of your sanity. You steel your mind against the thing that occupies the metal monster. You feel it probe your mind for some weakness. Your eyes wide in horror. You are consumed by a vision of blood that seeps from the monstrosity in endless tears until it is nearly a wave of crimson. You sense the ancient evil that resides in the steel monster. You recall in your mind a file from a case in the Hoș-Bășu region of Romania in the 1640s. A mad prince forged it from the melted down holy relics of the surrounding towns and then tempered it into a giant vat filled with the blood of virgin peasant girls. A ritual of some sort empowered the vessel to serve as a repository of an evil spirit that had bargained with the prince. It must abide there even now. So, I mean, we can try to destroy it, which I almost never do because I almost always decide to climb inside. You get a really neat feat if you actually are successful at this, but give it that target level of 8. I want to wait until our cups is 1, possibly 2 points higher before we make the attempt. You decide to slowly back away from this metal canister of evil. Despite the fact that you can feel it yearning for your blood, you know that you can turn your back and walk away. It's probably a good choice. I believe the feat that you get there is that whenever you fail a poison or challenge, or whatever poison challenge is present, it either reduces the damage you take from failing it by 3 points, or it makes the difficulty 3 easier. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is. So we need to evade this again. And it occurred to me that because we left the Iron Maiden and went to this spot, even though we didn't get 5 over the target number, the game doesn't want to put me back to the Iron Maiden, so we got to stay here anyway. So that kind of worked out for us. Alright, Serenata. Your eyes are immediately drawn to the dancing flames. They seem to have no source of fuel, but are confined to a chalk circle enclosing a pentagram. At each point, a small vault of candles still burns. Then you notice the robed body sprawled on the wooden floor. You step closer. As you advance step by step, you begin to feel uneasy. You sense a powerful evil presence in the room, and a chill runs down your spine. A face takes form in the flames, and you stop in your tracks. It seems to stare into your soul, and you are afraid. This thing bound within the pentagram is demonic, of that there can be no doubt. You must focus your mind and overcome the swelling sense of panic that the creature's gaze has sent through your entire being. And we did so. You have kept your sanity, and you break eye contact with the flaming demon. You'll know better than to look it directly in the eyes again. You've stumbled upon the scene of a demon summoning gone wrong. The power within the pentagram circle has obviously lashed out as its would-be master and killed him outright. What the hell was he doing here? Avoiding contact with the demon's fiery eyes, you examine the scene more closely. You notice that the chalk circle has been broken ever so slightly. This must be what led to the demise of the robed figure lying prostrate before you. Who knows what this poor evil soul had in mind that would compel him to consort with demons? You must tread carefully here. So as before, we could try oh, no, we can't. Okay, so we are unable to communicate with this demon. We must need more pentagrams to do so. It hasn't attacked you yet, so you slowly back away. If you play with fire, you get burned. A group of cultists emerges from the shadows. They seem to be exceptionally stealthy. They must be scouts or guardians for some organized group that has taken up residence here. This group looks particularly dangerous. They seem well-trained, well-armed, by the look of them, well-organized. You can't tell exactly how many there are, as they move in a tight formation to hide their numbers. Alright, cultists. It looks like our best chance is to actually physically fight you. Oh, actually, fleeing would work as well. I think we can win a fight against these guys. That target number of 6 with 5 tricks, 5 draw, it'll be close, but I think we can win. They may look like the cultist version of ninjas, but they're obviously human, so they will die all the same. We could still win. We don't. These cultists move faster than ninjas and strike like vipers. We'll try that again. Ah, this is a good hand. 4 face cards and a 5. That's very nice. And we get to use our King of Wands on the Queen of Wands, which is always a good feeling. That was wonderful. You won the battle. The cultist bodies lie strewn across the floor. Maybe you can find something useful on them. We don't have a gun, so we can't take the 13 bullets that we found. Alright, it's gonna, yes, Tim, there needs to be a skill card next. You need to somehow get your pentacles up. And so, you'll note that whenever I play this game, I always concentrate on stats first. I mean, of the feats, the range edge doesn't help us. We don't have a gun. Heroic feats edge could be useful. Again, I'd probably take a Braveheart or Lionheart, whatever that is, to reduce the courage cost of these skills I have. In fact, I need to do that because I need to make sure I take the same exact edges that I had last time. And while that is useful, that would make it more tempting for me to use my heroic feats. We don't have a gun, so we can't really use critical hit. And Whirlwind... Whirlwind is useful to buff up the cards in my hand, I suppose. But I'd rather just spend the 5, get a skill card, and then spend 2 more to get my pentacles up 1 point. Plus, that will allow me to, in the future, maybe the near future, depending upon if we find any spells, get a bone of pentacles so I can cast them. Alright, and I think we will try the door. Are you sure, Tim? The doors? No, not yet. Go across to the other side of the mansion. What? There's 4 locked doors? 1, 2... No, 3. 1, 2, 3 locked doors. You stumbled into an armed patrol of cultists. You hear shouting and then see the flash of weapons being fired. You don't intend to ask any questions. Alright, so we've been detected. You enjoy nothing more than a good stand-up firefight. They're human, so they will die all the same. Oh, a great hand. Again, 4 face cards and a 3. You won the battle. The cultist bodies lie strewn across the floor. One experience point. We will start aiming toward that other skill card. Oh, look at this hallway. This is definitely a dirty one. Something was dragged into the room that we left from here. Downstairs is this way. Oh, I thought it would be behind this locked secret door. Okay, let's get the basement marked on the map. I don't intend to do any exploring down here. I just want it revealed. You will die very easily being down there with the stats that we have. Okay, we have the boxing ring here again. We might as well take a quick peek and see if we can find a clue token. This is probably the boxing manager. But we don't need to talk with him quite yet. Actually, we should investigate to make sure that that is indeed what this is. You see the unmistakable outlines of an old boxing ring. You guess that it's been years since it was last used, since it is covered with dust and ropes seem old and frayed. Even now, though, you can smell that stale odor that permeates most gyms. Suddenly, you realize that there is a figure standing in front of the ring. A ghostly apparition of a boxing manager looks over to you and motions for you to come over. A wave of panic sweeps over you. The attention that you have drawn from this ghost makes you very uncomfortable. You have kept your sanity. Now you must decide how to respond to the ghost's solicitation. The ghostly boxing manager keeps waving you over. It obviously wants to communicate with you. So we'll communicate with him. You decide to use your psychic talents as a medium to find out what the ghostly manager wants from you. I have to win. Let's do it, Tim. Looks like my... Okay, about to say, it looks like my gamble's not paying off. We weren't able to use it. I thought we might get a knight or a... Actually, Tim, it was only the knight that the queen could really take it. The page couldn't. Because the page could take all the numbers. We should have played the queen on the 2. Yeah, I should have played the queen on the 2. Good thing we got lucky and it was just another numbered wands card that showed up. You enter a trance and begin speaking with the ghostly boxing manager. He has a series of fights lined up for you, and he's anxious to get you into the ring. I knew you would do it, Slugger. So now all you gotta do is jump in that there ring and win 3 times. Win, win, win. 3 fights are set up for you, and 3 titles are up for grabs. A ghostly crowd is suddenly gathered all around the boxing ring. You see the ghost of an attractive woman holding a card up above her head as she strolls around the ring. You can't quite make out what's on it. Alright, we're just going to leave this alone. You don't want to waste your time with this right now. The ghosts are all cheering. You could slip out of here and not be noticed. We'll do that. I need more pentacles before we do this encounter. Wands and pentacles will help you win that. Preferably, we could somehow pick up another wands point somehow. A point of wands. You see a bunch of papers spread out on top of a desk. Among the clutter are an assortment of old envelopes, letters, and even a few parchment papers. Again, I want at least 1 more pentacles before we start rummaging through the papers. Okay, the organ room is in here. So the cursed organ's probably in here. Okay. We'll go back to this room after we explore the children's playroom. Your attention is drawn to the clattering sounds of wood striking wood. You could swear you are hearing wooden shoes scampering around in the gloom in front of you. Suddenly, you see a group of small porcelain dolls scurrying towards you. Animated by some strange sorcery or curse, these dolls look angry, and they are armed as well. This isn't something that you see every day. A murderous gang of porcelain dolls heading towards you and obviously intent on spilling your blood. You stand there amazed, caught between panic and because of the danger, and laughter at the absurdity of the scene. We won't win if we play the queen, so we'll play the... But it would greatly reduce our sanity loss, Tim. Ah, okay, you were wrong. You will win if you played the queen, because if you played the 10, we would have been under by 2 points. The horror only toys with you before you brush it aside. Well done, Vic. An edge upgrade! Alright, and you'll note the game's not broken, but it wasn't broken when we started off anyway. We don't really have any real edges at the moment. So blind fighting is useless to upgrade, because we don't have a melee combat ability that lets us select a card in hand. So we will increase lightning reflexes instead, which will reduce the traps level by an extra 1 point. The toys jump around you like maniacal goblins looking for treats on Halloween. They swing and jab their blades at you. Oddly, one of the dolls is carrying around a ragged doll of its own. You clearly remember an old case file about an insane toy maker named Henry Stoff who captured children's souls and imprisoned them in toys. Could this be a Stoff collection? You realize this is not going to end well. You are going to either have to fight or flee. We will flee. You decide to turn and run until you can find a better way to deal with this. You muster all your courage and turn and run the way you came. You soon find yourself in safety. And today they're the only encounter in that room. Let's save the game. An edge upgrade is a very nice thing to have. If something does happen to glitch the game, I want to make sure I at least have saved that. Occasionally, also, it hasn't happened in a long time, but it's been raining a lot outside the past 2 days. And occasionally we lose power here. It hasn't happened in a few years, but it used to be it rained, we could lose power. And so that's always annoying if it happens when you're playing a game on an Iron Man mode. Your attention is drawn to an old tapestry hanging on the wall that depicts a medieval battle of some sort. It looks like it should be in a museum. Examining the battle scene a little closer, you immediately notice the large red hand that divides 2 groups of armored knights. Suddenly, the battle seems to come to life. Knights charge the hand on both sides and are knocked to the ground. You stare at it in amazement, wondering if you are hallucinating. Your eyes widen in disbelief as the battle unfolds before you. A ghostly vapor seems to enshroud the tapestry. You struggle to maintain your sanity. Cursed artifacts give you the creeps. You remember that night that you spent in the museum at Mr. Tonk University. You still can't remember several days from that mission. The tapestry is obviously animated by some type of sorcery. It might even be possessed by some malign spirit. You should proceed with caution. It isn't unheard of for something like this to function as a doorway or portal to another dimension. Once in, you might not get back out. That's part of the Red Hand deck quest, so we'll wait till later to attempt it. That is probably the Angry Organ, and we found our first clue token. You have found some very odd printed material detailing the benefits of initiation into an unnamed cult. Looks like they were trying to recruit other cultist members from different cults. You see before you a large and ornate Baroque pipe organ. The bench before it sits empty. Suddenly, your ears are filled with the haunting sounds of music resounding from the organ's pipes. The melody is terrifying, and you watch astonished as a ghostly vapor encompasses the musical instrument. You struggle to keep your fear in check. The haunting music threatens to drown you in a sea of melancholy and despair. Something supernatural possesses this musical instrument. You must resist its efforts to chip away at your sanity. The music builds to a crescendo, and you feel like you are being pulled down to your doom in a bottomless ocean of despair and pain. This thing wants to hurt you. You stand before the pipe organ and struggle to make sense of what you have just seen and, more importantly, heard. There is a powerful spirit bound in this musical instrument via some nefarious sorcery or curse. You can feel the anger and rage building within it. You suspect it is getting ready to assault your mind again. So we could try communicating with it, but that is a miserable chance. Well, no, I'm sorry, no. So first off, it's not miserable, it's just not the best. And next, our wands, again, we might never see that increase past 3. So I don't think we will get a better chance at this than doing it right now. What the heck's wrong with my ability to speak today? Very lucky, and we did do it. Your mind establishes contact with the spirit. You recognize immediately that what you are dealing with is the agony of hundreds of tormented souls. Wait, no, not souls, but a psychic pain that still resonates in the pipe organ. They want something of you. You think that you finally understand what you are confronting. The disembodied death agony of hundreds of souls has accumulated in the pipe organ either by design or accident. The negative energy manifests itself as a single entity, a self-aware super-spirit of anger and rage. You suspect that you are witnessing the end result of many a black mass and vile sacrifice. It wants your help to free itself and to seek retribution. Many years ago, it was sabotaged by the will of its creator. It needs you to seek out its missing parts and a sheet of music that can release its trapped rage. First, find the grandfather clock, where the missing parts are hidden. Then confront and destroy the evil organ master ghost that weaved the binding spell and hid the missing parts. It possesses a sheet of music that when played will break the curse. Well, we know where the haunted organ is, so let's go back and examine it. Now, this is a bit tricky. Oh, hello, ghost. Alright, I've already read about encountering you. We'll just get you again. Nice, got her good. That's how we should do with all the ghosts. For courage, I guess since we don't yet have a ranged weapon, we should put them into whirlwind. And that one experience token into the skill card. This might be a mistake going back to the organ, mean, it's far away, so but we're not playing story token mode, so that's okay. But I don't know if I'll be able to successfully find what I'm looking for without my pentacles increasing yet. But it would be nice to have the parts. I guess we'll take a peek at how difficult it is. If I deem it as too difficult, we'll just head back. It's not gonna get better than this, Tim. Let's do it. You notice that the main assembly housing contains a multitude of gears, pins, and even tubes. Many seem like they may have been added haphazardly. The clock isn't even working. You should be able to follow the possessed organ's instructions to find and remove the missing parts. If we mess this up, a trap gets sprung on us. You have to do some digging, but you manage to retrieve the parts. Okay, now we just need to find the magician. Oh, in the same exact place we encountered this patrol earlier, we encounter them again. Alright, so let's go ahead and beat the living snot out of them. Oh, we have a good hand, too. Well, would have been a lot better had we been able to use either of our face pentacle cards. Okay, so we have no reason to bring that back to the organ. I don't like this hallway. I don't like this hallway. You notice a small pile of junk cluttering up a section of the floor. Upon closer examination, you see an assortment of typical cast-off items, broken pieces of this and that. If I had one more draw, maybe, but it's not. And again, I want to wait till my pentacles go up. You know, as I mentioned before, you only get one chance to search junk piles and piles of notes or papers. So I prefer doing it when our stats are a little higher to give us a better chance of getting a higher value for the score we're aiming for. I hate that you increase the difficulty of breaking the door in by 2 points, game. Four draw, 5 tricks, target number 3. No, I think we just wait on the locked doors. The chapel. The little girl could be in here who wants us to find the doll that was stolen from her. The bachelor could also be in here. No, I'm sorry, the bride. The bride will be in here. There could be a chandelier that also falls. There's a nasty trap which can show up in this room. And look at this cathedral. There's the stand the priest would read from. And look at the statues. Death. With shields on his back for both of them. You hear the soft beat of a human heart. It seems to slowly grow louder. The air around you becomes cold, and you start to see your own breath. Suddenly, a ghost materializes directly in front of you. It is the ghost of a woman dressed in an elaborate bridal dress. The sight of her is quite a shock. The sudden appearance of the ghostly bride threatens to send you into a panic and damage your sanity. Not today, it doesn't, game. You have seen things far worse than this. You were part of the team that broke into the Frankenstein castle after that creature found its would-be bride. The ghostly bride hovers in front of you. You are alarmed to notice that she seems to transform herself across a range of apparitions. At times she has a vision of calm, innocent beauty, and then her eye sockets seem to empty and she appears fully skeletal, a harbinger of wrath. You suspect some traumatic event has bound her here, and she seems to be longing for the return of something. You decide to use your psychic talents as a medium to find out why the ghostly bride is waiting here. You enter a trance and soon are talking with the ghostly bride. She explains that she is waiting here for her betrothed, who is late for their wedding. She wants your help. Her name appears to have been Constance, and she is waiting for her betrothed to appear and marry her. You get the feeling that she has been waiting a long time. She wants you to find him, but has no idea where he has been hanging out. She is certain, though, that he is somewhere nearby. Game's really making us work for those experience points. Another haunting. Hello, haunting. Alright, we'll try beating you up as well. And that will let us do it. Nice. A few more reward cards are always nice as well. You got her good. No one's gonna believe how you did it, and you're not sure you are either. I love it when I guess correctly. Alright, so let's do the same thing we had done last time. Add a skill card, Hyperborean Sorcery. It was an age undreamed of when wizard kings ruled by channeling a powerful dark sorcery that eventually frayed the very fabric of reality. Only fragments of this knowledge remain, and you have dedicated yourself to uncovering what you can and harnessing the power for your own use. So that means next 2 points will go into our Pentacles increase, give us all 3 for our starting stats. Sorry, to make our starting stats all 3s. And we have the zombie hallway here again. Let's go ahead and give this a walk through. More cultists. They're all over this place. I'm thinking about using Whirlwind, but I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is it's going to fail the challenge to pass it. So no, we won't use it to get myself more points. We won the challenge anyway, and it would have been useless. You won the battle. The cultist bodies lie strewn across the floor. Oh, nothing in the servants' quarters today. Interesting that this one bed has rooms around it as if to protect the occupant, and the chest that stored his things as well. Hello, kitchen. Didn't have to get past a green slime to get into you today. You stop as soon as you catch sight of the lone figure near the wall. You might have thought that he was a statue standing there, as his only movement in the gloom was the slow, labored rise and fall of his chest as he drew breath. Without warning, he bursts into a maniacal cackle that sends a shiver down your spine. You have no doubt that you are hearing the laughter of the insane. The maniacal laughter is truly disturbing as it echoes around the room and out the doors. You struggle to maintain your sanity. A gaunt, thoroughly insane man wielding a bloody axe lunges towards you. You are certain that there is no way to reason with him, so you can save the questions for later. You decide that you don't want any part of this right now, so a 7 target with 5 and 5, that's really difficult to do. It's doable. Again, we could get really lucky, but I'm not feeling really lucky at this point in the game. So let's try running. Oh, we only have a Knight of Pentacles, and the rest of our... We have 2 5s and an ace and a 2. Hopefully, we'll get at least 1 point. Oh, thank God. You turn and run. As the maniacal laughter fades into the background, you start to feel better. I might want to be in there, but I really don't want to have to pass another evade challenge from this guy. Even fleeing from him, you can still get a wound from him, so it's really not worth the effort. Whatever's in here will stay in there until I'm powerful enough to defeat the axe-wielding madman. You think you hear someone whistling at first, The gloom seems to part, and you encounter a figure engaged in a task of some sort. It's dressed in clothes from a previous era. As you come closer, you realize that you are in the presence of something supernatural. The figure is transparent and seems to glide here and there as if floating on air. No matter how many times you see something like this, it's always a bit of a shock. Your touch with the supernatural threatens to chip away at your sanity. Calm your mind and resist the terror that wishes to overwhelm you. Oh, hello, three queens. We three queens. I can't think of anything else how to end the song, so what's this stuff there? You've kept your sanity. At this point, you've almost gotten used to the spectacle of spirits of household servants scampering around their old haunts. The ghost that you were observing was obviously once a baker. You recognize the distinctive clothing and discern that it appears to be going through the motions of preparing bread for the oven. You sense, however, that it is agitated. It keeps repeating the same motions over and over as if stuck in some type of circle. It pays you no attention whatsoever. We can communicate with them, so we should do so. You decide to make contact with the ghost and listen to its story. Many focused hauntings like this have some unresolved business here in this world. Maybe you can help. You enter a trance and subtly reach out to the ghost. As you suspected, the ghost is caught in a psychokinetic rut of a sorts. It's not fully aware of this, but it seems eager to talk. Okay, yeah, the game's making me a total liar. I'm noticing that no, Tim, there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason for you to saying earlier that often rewards are around the quest card when you accept a quest. You haven't seen this be the case consistently yet since you made that statement. I haven't any time for you, shouts a ghostly baker. Unless, of course, you can get my oven working again. It's wandered off somewhere, but I need it cleaned and fast. It's time to make the donuts. The ghostly baker pays you no more heed and goes back to his endless preparations. You need to find this oven and clean it. It's probably in here, if we're being perfectly honest, but I don't think I've got the stats to fight it. Oh, it's not in here either. Okay, then. The backyard. And a locked door. So we will come back here later. The backyard is tougher than the first floor, inside the house. I'd put it on par with the second floor for difficulty, which is to say that we are not ready for that yet. We definitely want at least 3 in all stats, preferably a 4 in swords and pentacles before we travel back into the backyard or upstairs. We have found a clue token. You find a box of candles made from materials you don't even want to contemplate. You are sure that this is the work of cultists. Another bunch of papers. We'll just leave those here. If I wasn't recording the game, I would totally save scum. Let you guys know. I bet you several times before. Hold on. You saw them lying on the floor, but you obviously didn't connect the dots. You started off down the hall, giving the burlap sacks a wide berth. You slipped past one large bag and then stopped in your tracks when you heard the ripping sound of cloth being torn by some sharp instrument. You turned to face the sound and witnessed a decaying corpse rising up out of the remnants of the bag. The sharp instruments are razor-like claws. Your wishful thinking has put you in a tough position. Body sacks lying on the floor? What did you think was going to happen? Again, Lord Raptor is what I thought was going to happen. It doesn't. Your mind is weak. The undead creature lumbers towards you. You know exactly what it intends. At this point, it's either fight or flee. You had better hope the rest of those bags don't start moving. Fleeing is just about as difficult as fighting. Sorcery is just about as difficult as attacking. In fact, it might be easiest for us to do this, but then I can't use my cutlass. So let's attack the zombie. You decide that the best defense is a good offense. You remind yourself to go for the brain first. I've been forgetting about my cutlass, actually. I keep thinking it works like the... Wow, this is bad. I keep thinking it works like the knife, and that's not the case. Wow. So that was really unlucky. So let's use the knife. Nice! Take that, game! So that gave us the 1 point we needed to get 2 points on the board to reduce the damage we take. You lost the battle. The zombie overpowers you and things go from bad to worse. The undead creature lumbers towards us. Fight it again. Nice. Hello, Knight of Pentacles. We had the Queen in our hand. You won the battle. Well done, Serenata. We haven't seen the green slime, nor have we seen the insects yet. Almost always, one of them is somewhere on the first floor in a hallway. Hello, second floor. Hello, gun room. So I'm pretty desperate for a gun. One of these will be it. Oh, the other one might be a stuffed alligator. It also, because you can see the animals here by the guns, it could also be the ghost that we've seen. Whatchamacallit, I forget his name now. You immediately notice the enormous 12-foot stuffed crocodile displayed prominently in the room, which is adorned with many other eccentric collector's pieces. A sudden chill shoots down your spine as the tail of the crocodile begins to sweep back and forth. The eyelids flick open, and you know something is terribly wrong. You can't be sure whether this thing is alive, undead, or animated by some dark sorcery, but it certainly looks hungry. You feel like you're going to relieve yourself exactly where you stand. The crocodile turns to face you, and you can clearly see that the stitches indicate this creature was stuffed and then reanimated, probably as a guardian for this place. The gaze is locked on you, and it slowly starts to advance towards your location. So we will not have a good chance to beat this thing, so we'll just run. You decide to turn and run. This thing is fast on land as it is in water, so you'll have a bad feeling about this. I've had worse hands than this. Now let's just win. We just need 1 point. You catch it by surprise, and you manage to slip away. I think I might have actually lowered the difficulty of most of the fleeing challenges in the game. Maybe? I can't remember now. I've done so much modding to the game files, I can't remember what I changed. I'll have to find out. Figure it out. So, I mean, I did change this. I made it as easy as possible for you to get it. I made sure it had difficulty of 1 for this encounter. You notice several old broken gun cases. Upon closer examination, you see a scattered assortment of mostly antique weapons through the glass panes that enclose the boxes. We need a gun if we want to use critical hit. Let's give it a try. Oh, game. Okay. That should have given us a gun. Okay, thank goodness. You find a few good candidates that might be salvageable. I hate you! I freaking hate you! An old flintlock freaking again. Okay, whatever. Of all the guns to get, I hate seeing the old flintlock. You can't refill it with bullets whatsoever. But it does let it mean that we can use our critical hit, a heroic feat. And once I make sure that the gun can only use 1 bullet per use, then I can use it every single combat if I so wish. God, I wanted something else. You have come face to face with the living dead. Slow, ponderous, and mindless zombies are still not to be underestimated. They can overwhelm you with numbers and be feasting on your entrails before you know it. This must have followed us in from the other room. Having dispatched quite a few of these undead automatons, they still creep us out. Your mind is strong. You finally remember your last mission with Officer Rick. It was utter zombicide. Zombies. You hate these guys. This place certainly knows how to keep you on your toes. Just don't build a summer house here. Alright, I think we fight it. It's the best... It's not the best... Oh, wow. That's very nice. Wish we had this when we were searching the gun case. Actually, it wouldn't matter. The game randomly decides what gun you're gonna get. And it can be any gun. Like, we could have gotten a shotgun, a Tommy gun. Any gun is better than the flintlock. Literally any gun. Any one of them. Well, is that true, Tim? Think about it here for a little bit. So, the unique thing about the flintlock compared to the other pistols is that it only uses one ammo. So, initially, the flintlock is not a very good gun. You've got 5 shots and then that's it. But if you do take the one edge, where the number of bullets are reduced by the level of the edge, then suddenly that gun becomes very usable because it consumes no ammo at that point. That was one of the 2 experience points we need to increase our pentacles. And it's really making me work for that pentacles increase. Storage junk room. You see a section of wall whose plaster long ago began to peel away. However, something doesn't seem quite right. Your eyes catch the faintest glimmer of reflected light from some pattern on the wall. You can swear that you hear the faint beating of a heart. Suddenly, you realize that the wall is weeping blood. And then you feel an unspeakable evil presence try to embrace you. You struggle to maintain your composure as you feel a building desire to scream grab a hold of you. The blood trickles down the wall as the patterns sicken you. But the real danger here is something buried within the wall. It's evil, and it's reaching out to you. You must fight to keep your sanity. Your will is stronger than the evil embedded in the wall. You fight back the building urge to scream in panic, and then relax as you master your fears. The wall weeps blood in pulsing rivulets. You can hear the faint beating sound, or perhaps you are merely imagining it. It mixes with the broken plaster and pools at the base of the wall, draining slowly between the cracks in the floor. You notice a large gash that seems like a laceration. There is something evil and malign pushing within the walls. Some eldritch sorcery has left its taint here as well. You should proceed with caution. That is a very difficult challenge to make, so I will have to do this later. You resolve your... so let's leave. If you have a bad feeling about this, there is something in the wall that you probably should avoid. I forget who I was talking to now. Who was it? Someone had mentioned that for them, the heart, if we kept it, if we betrayed the mouth when we turned this quest in, they had a different result as opposed to what I had for my heart. The black heart that our one Sarah had, it recovered the sanity. If we had lost all of our sanity through minus sanity cards, as opposed to having an instant insanity card drawn, then our black heart would have restored our sanity to 5 and negated our death. But this gentleman, his effect was completely different. So that's interesting. It means that maybe the items you get as a reward can be different. At least that heart looks like it could be. But right now, I don't have the stats in order to pluck it out, so. Holy crap! You have come upon a large bas-relief face mounted on the wall. Its features are worn, and it looks quite old. As you stare at it, you start to feel uneasy. Suddenly, you realize that the mouth is moving its lips ever so slightly, and then you hear the mumbling. It starts as a whisper, but you can't get it out of your head as it grows in intensity. If this keeps up, you are certain it will drive you insane. You fight to keep the mumblings from overwhelming your mind. You can't understand any of it, but the droning noises seem to want to burrow deep into your skull, and that can't be good. You begin your own chant based on the Zen relaxation technique you once learned in the Orient. It works to cancel out the mumbling and clears your mind of pain. The face of the wall looks amiable, but you know otherwise. The lips continue to move, but the mumbling is barely audible. Examining the bas-relief more closely, you notice that there is a pictograph script of some sort disguised within the frieze that encircles the face. You sense eldritch sorcery at work here. The bas-relief could be enchanted or cursed, or merely serving as the physical nexus of some malevolent force. You realize that you should proceed with caution. I kind of want one more pentacles before we make that check. We'll come back for this. That's too funny. The face is right here, and the quest it gives you is directly next to it. I don't think I've ever seen the game spawn such before. Normally they're at least in a different room. That's interesting. A workshop down here on the first floor. Normally this is in the second floor of the attic. You see a grizzled old man dressed in some grungy old robes. He seems aware of your presence, and he waves you forward. He introduces himself as the Alchemist, and you notice that he is indeed surrounded by a menagerie of strange equipment. You wonder what on earth he's doing here in this mansion. He doesn't seem at all disturbed that you have dropped in on him. I'll talk with him. You decide to engage the Alchemist in a little conversation to try to discover what he's up to. You continue to make lots of small talk, but besides some pleasant smiles, he doesn't seem quite convinced about you. You feel like he is tossing something over in his mind. I always think this guy is, for some reason, from Planescape Torment, the gentleman who maintains the giant book inside the Dustman mortuary. But no, I don't think this is him. I don't recognize where this guy is from, like what pop culture reference Vic Davis was going for here. We'll try that again. Looks like we get an extra trick and an extra card. Neither which help us. Sure, win the challenge, Tim. Game felt sorry for me. Like, holy crap. Serenata Inawa can't even talk to an old man. Let's give him some help. He seems to size you up, and you get to the heart of the matter. He wants your help, and he's willing to help you in return. Yes, young master. You will suffice, I think. I cannot leave this room because I cannot, but I need my papers returned to me if I am to complete this great work that I have set out to finish. My legacy, you see. He wants you to recover some papers that are nearby. The papers are warded, so you must speak the words of release when you find them. He can't remember exactly where. He mumbles some warning about competitors and then sends you on your way. That was very nice. Let's do what we did last time, and we'll aim for a swords increase next. We'll also save the game. And I think we will go and complete this quest, because we should get one more point of experience from the Alchemist. And I'm actually tempted to, after we increase our swords, maybe our pentacles as well, we'll take a ranged edge instead of a skill card in order that I can use our flintlock without using bullets. Okay, yes, let's go turn this quest in. You were surprised by a sudden flickering of shadow that spreads out around you. You feel like you were being choked by some invisible force. And by turn the quest in, I mean go and complete this quest by going to find the papers, which I hope are the papers we passed earlier. Your eyes bulge as you fight to gasp for air and the dark shadows swirl around you. You start to panic, believing that you will surely suffocate. Two creatures of shadows swirl around you. You recognize immediately that you are dealing with a type of ghostly creature that feeds off human emotions, fear and pain being the most succulent. You can either stand firm and fight them psychically, or run and hope to fight another day. Oh, it's either one of these, actually, would work. They're both the same difficulty, basically. Dispelling is a target of 4 with 5 tricks and 5 draw, or 5 with 6 tricks and 6 draw. Arguably, Tim, you just need to take 2 number cards with this, and you win. With shadowboxing them, you would need to get 3 number card matches, or have a page and be able to take a number card with that for 2 cards. I still think we'll do this. We'll shadowbox them because I can use my cutlass. You throw a few jabs and notice they actively avoid the shadow of your punches. For a second they hesitate, and that's when you realize you can take them. It's going to be a bit of touch and go, though, metaphorically speaking. Well, there's that page I mentioned. Not many people are afraid of their own shadows, let alone others. Looks like these nightmares should have been, though. Hey, for courage. Very nice. I'll take that. Since I will be using my pistol's special ability soon, we might as well take some of this into critical hit. I'll put another point in it. Very nice. What are the odds for this now? We don't want ill omens, but at the same note, I know they have auras of luck, so I'm torn between picking these locks, getting in them, but I really don't want an aura of an ill omen from failing a lock pick. These are not the right papers. You decide to search through the papers. You never know what type of useful information you might find here, so that's not them. Was there another piece of papers on the other side? I don't think there was. No, there was not. All right. Since we're here, let's search them. That's a good hand. 1 ace, but then we have a king and queen of wands, a page of pentacles, and a 10 of swords. That's very nice. I'm glad we succeeded at this. You don't come across anything earth-shattering, but there is enough information here to boost your confidence that you are on the right track. Aura of Fortune. Yes! 1 point of luck. But that's very nice to get. And 3 sanities is very nice as well. That was not the papers we need to find, so those are for the Rishaka. I don't know how long I've been playing for. I kind of have to use the bathroom too. Why don't we... Let's go and put the demon in... Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Don't do that yet. Don't do that yet. All right. I need to use the restroom, everyone, so I'll be right back. Give me a few seconds. Hey, everyone. All right. We've been playing for an hour, so I didn't really realize that much time had passed. So we're going to stop this episode here, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.